Yeah, recording.
All right, let me know when you're ready and we'll go from there.
I think we're ready and raring to go. Super stoked.
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Sure. I'm sorry I'm a little late. I've had to pick up my kids from youth. So at any moment I told them I was on a call and I think I see them. So if y'all see a bunch of stuff in the background, you'll know they got in. But anyway, thank you so much for having me on the call. My name is Ellen Ford. I'm a Diamond Senior Gold Ambassador with Plexus. And tonight we're going to be talking. Hey, I can see faces now. Stacy, I just saw you popped up. I am super excited to be talking to you guys about closing the deal. That is kind of one of those things that, we can get customers pretty easily, right? We can get, people interested. We can post, if you're kind of comfortable with reaching out, that kind of goes pretty good. But when it comes to that actual conversation of closing the deal, a lot of times we have an issue with that. The reason I know is because I had a problem with it at one time. But I kind of broke that down on why is it that we are afraid to close the deal. And the number one reason we're afraid to close the deal is we're afraid. We have fear, and it breaks down to fear of rejection because we're afraid to have that conversation because we truly deep down don't believe what we're doing works. So we fail to have that conversation. It's easier to just kind of, I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to be that person that continues to follow up. I don't want to push too hard. I'm afraid I'm going to lose a friend. All I have to say about that is if you have that fear, number one, it's normal to have that fear because it's human nature. We have a fear of rejection. And when you have these conversations about closing the deal, there is a possibility that someone could react differently, react wrong, or, think, oh, she's crazy. Okay, I'm on a call. So, okay. So my kids are in the car. So we're afraid to have that conversation because we're afraid of how someone's going to react. And that boils down to our human nature of, just the fear of rejection. That's probably, I feel like I've learned that in Plexus. So that's probably our number one fear and why we don't maybe get to that next level, why we don't have certain conversations, why we don't end up going silver that 1 month or whatever it is. It boils down to fear of rejection. And we're really afraid of what people think of us. I know when I first started with Plexus and I was working in corporate America, I was really kind of like, I don't want to be that person. That's network marketing. I have a real job. I was working in a big corporation and I just was like, I'm not going to tell anybody about this because this is one of those things. And I kind of struggled in the beginning with what people thought about me. And, I'm a pastor's wife. I struggled with a little bit of that. But then I looked at our financial situation. I looked at the fact that I had to have my job. If I didn't have my job at the time, our ends wouldn't meet. Okay. My kids were in daycare. I wanted to be home with my kids so bad, and financially it was not possible. So I balanced that with how bad do I care what other people think of me? I mean, I'm not selling crack. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm selling health and wellness. I just have to have that conversation. And I just decided I don't care. I want out of this job so bad. I had to get angry, y'all. And I encourage you, get angry about your current circumstances because when you do, you're not going to have a hard time closing the deal because you're going to be confident, because you're going to think, you know what, my family, my kids, everything is way more important than with that person out there who I don't even know if they really like me. or I don't know if we're really that good of friends, worrying about what that person says about you. Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm trying not to get on a soapbox about this, but I have like, I'm passionate about this. Okay. So I want to kind of get into like the steps, because I know it's, setting vision and talking about like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. We got to not worry about what people think. That's wonderful. But you have to have steps. Like, okay, if you're one of those people that's like, okay, tell me like the 3 tips or whatever they are, tell me what to do, because I'm one of those people who maybe you're on this call and you don't really care what people think. You're having those conversations, but maybe it's not turning into what you're wanting. Maybe you're like, maybe what am I saying? What am I doing? What are the things that I need to be doing to close the deal? So if you're a writer, if you're a note taker, get your pens out. Number one is do your homework. Okay. Let's say you have a fence sitter, maybe someone that saw your post, liked it, you're not really sure what to do, you know, maybe you have some people on your prospect list and you're thinking, okay, I want to reach out to them. I sent them a sample through the Engage app, but they got the sample and they haven't done anything. So does that mean, what do I do? How do I say something? They've already taken, that kind of thing. First of all, you need to go to that person's Facebook page, their Instagram feed, and you need to see what's going on in their life. Get your list of prospects out, get your previous customers, whoever it is that you're going to be reaching out to, and go look at their Facebook wall. Okay. See what they're doing, see what they're posting. Did their grandmother just die? Okay. I always use this example is because I reached out to somebody to try to talk about joining, and their grandmother had just passed away. Okay. I didn't check their Facebook page. So they were so gracious to me. And they were like, it's totally fine. But they were like about to go to the funeral. Okay. If I had gone to her wall and seen like that grandma had passed away, I would not have sent that message. Okay. So go do your homework first, because then you kind of know what that person is kind of dealing with, what's going on in their life. Are they going, man, I'm exhausted from my kids going back to school, or whatever it is? Look, guess what? You can go, hey girl, I wanted to get back to you, and I saw your posting about this. I want to go ahead and talk to you about getting on board. But do your homework. Go look at their social media and see what's going on. Okay, next thing is, when you have the conversation of closing the deal, you need to be others focused. Okay. A lot of times we get wrapped up into, and I can say this, I'm preaching to the choir because I've done this in the past. You have to look at it. And even if you don't really feel that way in your heart, because you're like, I want to rank up, I want to hit my goals, I want to go Emerald, I want to be in Hawaii, I want to do those things. That is great. You have goals. But when we're adding people to our team, we're growing business builders, we're raising up leaders, it has to be about them. Okay. Think about, how could this opportunity help them feel better, or these products help them feel better? How could that $300 bonus that Plexus has going on right now, how could that impact their family, especially right now with the pandemic? Okay. Everyone needs extra income right now. And how, with the new mega kids, how could the products help their kids? I don't remember when I wrote this training, but I think it might have been a year ago, and how poignant it is now that how could the products help their children when people's kids are going back to school, and moms are worried about, their kids getting sick. I constantly am one of those people that I'm like, I'm nervous myself. So you tell me how I can keep my kids healthy, I am all in. So find out, when you go down your prospect list, find out, okay, for example, Gabi, okay, how could these products help her? I know she has kids. I know she'd want them to be healthy. She seems like a hustler. I think she would do well at the business. How could it benefit her? And kind of just go through and think how that person and how this could help them. And even if, like I said earlier, even if you're you're still thinking, man, I'm thinking about my goals, that's okay. You want to train your mind to start being others focused, because sometimes if we start training our mind to do something, our mind will automatically go there. Because, guys, one big thing to remember with Plexus is if you help other people reach their goals, guess what? You're going to automatically hit yours. You've got to be helping other people and be others focused. Next, you have to, let's see what I have. You have to do it for them a lot of times, okay? I know it's super easy. I've done it. You get into a conversation, someone's like, all right, girl, I'm ready to do it. I'm doing it. You send them the link, especially if you have Engage app. You send them the link and you get that little message that says they're visiting your link, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. It's about to happen. And you don't get the email confirmation. It's been like 45 minutes, 2 hours, 4 hours. You're like, what is happening? They went to my link, why didn't they pull the trigger? And so we go through this whole big thing about what happened, why didn't they order, should I follow up, should I reach out, is that overkill? You start going through that thing. But this is one of the things, if you are really serious about hitting your rank, getting to the next level, you got to be willing to hop on that phone. And when they're ready to go, you say, hey, do you have 5 minutes that you can hop on the phone? I'll do it for you. It will literally take me 5 minutes. Get them on the phone. And I know people are like, oh, I don't want to do that. If you are having those reservations, don't worry, because I did it before. But again, train your mind to go, literally, if someone's ready to go, I feel like I could get someone signed up over the phone in less than 5 minutes, because I know the system. You guys know the system. You know the places where people get tripped up. You know they're going to ask about subscriptions. You know they're going to go, okay, which welcome pack is this? You know the triplex. You know exactly, if they scroll to whatever point, you know where that is. And you can explain that to them as it goes. But that's the number one way to close the deal, is on the phone. If you leave it up to them, and especially if you're dealing in Messenger on Facebook or Instagram, there are days that go by that I forget to check my Messenger on, or whatever they call it, IG, private message. If someone gets distracted or they have to go pick up, like me, go pick up kids or something, I may not check Messenger. But if you go, hey girl, I'm going to call you today, let me call you and let's set up a time, and you call them and you get it done, then they know, okay, I need to be home on a computer or on the phone with my credit card and that type of thing. That's the easiest way to get that done. Next, if you have someone who maybe they're ready, maybe they're a fence sitter, and it just, man, it's not happening. Maybe they're like super interested and then they go quiet, and you're like, okay, what? I need to get movement from them. Okay. So maybe you need to offer a freebie. Maybe it is like, especially right now, it's $9.95 to enroll. Maybe you reimburse their enrollment fee, but give them a time limit. Maybe if you join before Sunday, I'm going to send you a 3-day active trial pack. Maybe you're like, have an extra Plexus water bottle, and you're like, okay, if you in the next 24 hours, or whatever time limit you want to put on it, if you join my team with the welcome pack, I'm going to send you a free water bottle. Whatever it is, sometimes people need a little carrot dangled, and it could all be like, man, they just haven't taken the time and they know they need to do it, but you're like, oh, okay, well, let me stop what I'm doing, because I want to get a water bottle, or you're going to enroll my enjoyment, or pay my enrollment. Yeah, I'm all about it. But, and you can see the examples of stuff that I put here. But you got to give them a deadline. If you're offering a freebie and there's not really a deadline to it, a lot of times there's not any kind of like urgency. You want to create urgency with offering that freebie. And you'd be surprised what people will do for a free water bottle, or, you can do a free product, depending on who it is. If you think it's like a rock star is interested in the business, I'm a little bit more apt to offer them some kind of bigger incentive. They're talking business with me and they want to promote. I'm going to sweeten the deal a little bit for those kind of, take off with it. And I don't know if this is my last slide. I think it is. And lastly, someone says no. Y'all have been doing this almost 7 years, and to close the deal with. I am constantly having those conversations. One of the things that I recently, and just loading those up at night with, I mean, healthy dinners that I'm making, exercise page. I'm literally blowing my stories up with Plexus and talking about the $9.95, talking about the welcome packs that are, the prices are slashed, you know, the 10% off. I'm constantly talking about that, and especially on Facebook stories, because I've probably signed more people this year than it may be any other year so far. And it sounds so crazy because of 2020 being so nuts. But if you stack up the years and say how many level 1 ambassadors have you enrolled in 7 years, like if you look at each individual year, I'm probably right up there at the top signing people this year. And y'all, I just started really focusing on Instagram stories and Facebook stories this year, probably April, May, because I knew everybody was home looking at social media. And I'm not, if you're looking to get inspiration about filters and pretty things, and that's not me. I'm just like regular. I will use the fonts and the stuff that they have there. Every once in a while I'll do something with a filter, but I really don't know what I'm doing. So, and I think that's important too, that you don't have to be the IG blogger queen with the, you know, arched eyebrows and the fancy hair. You don't have to be that. Obviously, if you saw me tonight and you're not looking at the slides, you know that. You just have to be you, but do not stop posting on social media and do not stop posting on stories, because even though there might be a little bit of a lull and you've got those fence sitters out there, guys, don't think they're not watching your stories. And when the timing is right, they are going to come around and you're going to be able to close the deal. These steps, you go do your homework, you make it about them, you offer a freebie, and you keep on keeping on, guys. It's going to happen for you. But that's all I got. Gabi, do you want to do what you want to do, and we'll do it?
Does anybody have any questions for Ellen? Sorry, I think I froze. But does anyone have questions?
Okay.
I have one question.
Okay.
Sorry. Whoa, hold on. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I have issues with technology. There. Sign people up work a lot better, but a few times I've run into where they just, and sometimes they totally run into problems and end up getting frustrated and giving up on the whole thing. Have to sign up over the phone or just kind of flounder and fail. Like,
oh, I think you have to take into consideration their information. Is that what the social and all that?
I don't know. Sometimes people are just, I think, afraid of phone calls, or it's not convenient for them.
Well, what I have done in the past is I'm like, okay, once you're ready to sign up, let them know, like, I'm available by messenger. So why don't you, when you get on the website, let me know, and I'm going to be on messenger, something where I can interact, like, okay, you should click on enroll, and then
Yeah.
they can do it that way. And it's a little bit, you know, not having to talk to someone on the phone. It's kind of, they're still in control and they're still going through the process and putting in their information. But I think it's so important that we have to be on standby to answer those questions. You know, y'all know that people will go on there and they'll go, okay, I did it. And you know, we're
Yeah.
going, want to get an email, and then they're
Yeah.
a customer or something. So,
Okay. That sounds good.
okay.
Thank you. This is very helpful.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'll ask you a question, Ellen. Hopefully you can hear me.
Ellen, thank you so much for your tips.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Michelle. My
Oh.
internet's not working well. Go ahead.
No problem. Ellen, thank you so much for sharing. How do you, what do you do with people that, I mean, they seem very interested in the products, they want it to help them, but you know, they say, oh, it's too expensive, or I don't want to, you know, sell. And I always go telling them, you know, we don't want you to sell. You know, we're not like Plexus wants you to help your friends and share. We're not about, you know, trying to push this on people. We have a certain system. We're here to help you. But they just never will commit. They just always, they like it. They're always liking the posts and everything, but they just won't make that jump.
Great question. I think some people, you know, there's a fear associated with network marketing, and they're afraid, you know, especially if money is tight, they're afraid to get into something. They're just kind of afraid. But also when people go, oh, it's too expensive. And instead of saying the whole, like, well, you go through Starbucks and you do this, they don't want to hear that. Believe me, I've tried to do that a long time. I've made all the mistakes, so I can speak from experience. But I actually got this. This is not an original thought, but I was talking to a friend several years ago about skincare. She was selling some skincare, and she told me how much it was. I'm like, dude, that's expensive. And she goes, yeah, it's skincare. I'm like, Walmart gut health. This is top of the line premium gut health. But then I'm going to start with that because that plants a seed. It's not junk that you can go to Walmart and get. But also it's like, oh, well, I mean, if you have anyone, it's like, I always put this out there. I know you're not interested in promoting with Plexus or telling anyone, but if you could just get like one family member and start with one instead of like go directly to three, because sometimes in their people's head they're like, oh, network marketing, no, not getting three, not adding three. It's like, get one friend to come do this with you, just so you have someone to run together and hold each other accountable. And then if they say, oh, okay, well, I'll think about it, you just want to plant those seeds. And then if they get to closing the deal, maybe you need to offer the deal. Maybe you need to go, hey, girl, okay, let me break it down for you. It's normally $39.95 to join Plexus. Right now, it's $9.95. It's 10% off your welcome pack. So right now, and I would tell them, like, for retail, it's whatever, I don't even know the numbers. Retail triplex or whatever is this much. You're getting it for this much. I would love for you, and all you can do is put that out there. And if they're still like liking and all that, that's good, because they're still watching and they still really want to do it. It's probably a money issue. But I would just start with those. Like when people go, oh, it's so expensive. But then, you know, they're posting up pictures of them at the beach with their family. It's like, not that expensive. But, you know, that's how it goes. But you just want to keep staying consistent, keep putting it in your stories, keep talking about the specials, and they'll come around.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully I won't freeze up again.
Or you froze that.
Ah. I asked a question in the chat. Can someone
Gabi,
read-
I can read your question if you want me to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Gabi has a question. Let me read it from the chat for you, Alan.
Okay.
All right. What if we did this wrong and we're afraid and let a great conversation stop, or didn't seal the deal when we could have? What's the best way to resurrect, thank you, that conversation?
It's like restructure. What are you trying to say? So the first one was maybe you said the wrong thing and they ran for the hills. Is that what I'm guessing? Or like you messed up the conversation and didn't go well. And then the second part was, what if we've missed an opportunity and not had the conversation? Is that
Not
kind of what you're saying?
Gabi, need you to
More-
nod.
Okay, more like, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
More like we had a great conversation, but we let fear get in the way of sealing the deal. And so we just kind of let it fizzle out instead of like just closing.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that happens to everyone. It's like there are certain people that we already create a fear inside of us that like, it's like they're too good. They're too good for me. They're too good for this. And it's all created in our head. Nobody's too good for this. Okay. Everyone needs gut health and everyone needs extra income. Maybe that on that missed opportunity, you can go back and say to them like, hey, I know we kind of dropped this conversation, but, and then I would come to it with, I know you mentioned to me before, and then whatever they shared with you, if they had shown an interest, or because I'm trying to think, did they show some kind of interest before? What was the conversation? I would just try to pick it up and say, hey, Dave, whatever it is. Join my team mentality, and they will join your team if you won't talk to them about the business. Okay. They will join your team. So you got to give them what they want and then drop the hints. Like I will get someone to come in and go, girl, let's get you started on the products. I want to help you lose that weight. I want to help you get your gut back to normal. But you got to hang with me. You've got to commit for 90 days to give this 100%, and just talk to them about their health goals. And then once they hit that, that button, congratulations, you're an ambassador, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to give it, I'm like, okay, when you have a chance, I want you to log into your virtual office so you'll know how to log in for your next order. And then I'm going to give it a couple of days, and then I'm going to reach right back out to that person, and I'm going to say, hey, I know you're not interested in selling anything with Plexus, but I just, I meant to tell you this the other day. Plexus is doing not initiative, incentive this month for, if you enroll 3 family members, 3 friends, you get $300. Just wanted to let you know that. But then I quickly turn that conversation. So sometimes we have to approach it the safe way, but then come back around when it's time. There's a long, hopefully that answered your question. Yeah.
Okay, so on that same subject, what if you had a conversation with somebody and you totally were, hey, I'm going for this goal, can you help me out? Like you totally just went
Hung it
about
out
it.
there.
Yeah. And left, I mean, you were doing everything wrong in the beginning and had those conversations and you scared people off. Can you come back to those people and go, hey, I'm really sorry. I totally did this wrong. Or what?
Well, I've done that because was it last year or year before? I was trying to win this shopping spree. See, I was trying to win something for myself. I was trying to win the shopping spree in Hawaii, which I don't remember how much it was for, but I let it go. And then I was one of those people that Roz and I decided to try to get it like the last couple of weeks of the month, which I did not recommend that because you stay up nearly all night. And so I did send those messages out, a lot of them, 2-3 years ago, and say, hey, I'm trying to reach one of the biggest goals I've ever, and you'd be surprised how many people will go, yeah, girl, I'll help you. But then you, like you said, you run some of them off. So I would just come right back and say, hey, maybe you give that a little time and think it over. But I mean, I don't think you need to apologize for doing that, because we learn by our mistakes, right? And they don't know it's a mistake. They just know, like, hey, you're over here hustling, trying to achieve goals and do stuff, and you ask them for a favor. I don't really think there has to be an apology for that. I think you just go back to them and say, hey, I know I'd mentioned to you about ordering some products, and then I'm going to talk about products. And I'm going to talk about gut health. I'm going to talk about, would you be interested in ever trying some of this? Maybe you want to send them samples, and then you can redirect it around and kind of just start back over. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I did that too. I was like sweating going, oh man, I can't believe I did that. I sent it to someone who I thought, they're better than me. They're better than this. They were at the top of a skincare company out there that is extremely, you would know it. And I'm like, why did I do that? That's so dumb. I'm so embarrassed. She's going to think I'm so dumb. And after the month closed, she got the message. She didn't, super busy. And she came back and she goes, what's your link? I want to order. And I was beating myself up about like, oh, why did I say that? So don't sell yourself short, because there may be some people that are like, oh, sorry, I'm just not reading this. Tell me a little bit about what is that, so don't totally beat yourself up about it.
No, that's good, because I sent out, I was surprised too. It was like a end of leaders retreat contest and just trying to qualify, or the iPads. Hey, I'm trying to do this. And how many people are willing to help you? It's amazing, but not many of them stick around. So
no, and once you call in that favor, it's gonna be tough to get that part. It's like, I've got a card to play, but once you play that card, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless you got Aunt Susie over there that's like, yes, baby, I will order from you to get you that whatever. But I would just say use those sparingly.
Okay. Thank you, Ellen.
Welcome.
People with too much information all at once. And I wonder, like, do you, when you have conversations, like, obviously, like, letting them share their stories and, leaving every conversation open-ended with a question, so they're continually conversing with you. But do you share just about Ambassador or explain the whole spiel? I guess I struggle with like how much is too much, because I'm trying to simplify it, but like still make it about them. I think I maybe not overshare, but I was talking a lot about this with Gabi and Lisa, just like, it's good to interject your own story, but I don't know, I'm trying to find how to simplify it and still make it about them, but not like, obviously that in my heart is like, I don't want to be dishonest, not explain, preferred customer and regular customer too, because they should be able to make their own choice, ultimately. But how do you, I think I want to try to ask is, how do you simplify it and not overshare, but still be legit and honest? So it's kind of a loaded question.
Good question. Well, I've done it again. Is working. So things are way different, you know, with the app and stuff like that. But I thought the way was to send them an email. I don't know my reason. The price list, the FAQs, which was 7 pages, by the way, for triplex. I attached like 4 or 5 documents, like Word document. It was so dumb. And then them or text them, and then they'll go, well, girl, I haven't even had a chance to open any of that stuff. That's too much information. So then I went to, well, I'm just going to send them 3 paragraphs about, hey, let me tell you. Sorry, y'all still there? Okay, got a phone call. Let me tell you about Plexus, what it's done for me, what products I take, and then I tell all, ask a question, then tell some more. And then that overwhelms them. So I'm like, okay, they're not getting back to me when I do that. Okay. Then I thought, well, and I think that is the key, is asking them a question and starting, you know, because if you send me a message, something on Messenger, if it's a 1-line thing with a question, I can see it. I don't even have to open it, and my brain, it's easy for me to respond, yes or no, whatever, or look at it. If it's a big old long paragraph, I may open it, but I'm gonna have to go somewhere. If I'm driving around town, I have to go somewhere and read it. Okay. So I start like, hey, have you ever tried Plexus? Have you ever heard of Plexus? You know, if you're posting, you know, we talked about this some at that retreat. If you're posting something and you're reaching out to somebody, you can go, hey, I don't know if you saw my post or not, but have you ever tried Plexus? And something very, very simple. And then the hardest part is you got to just let that go and wait for the response and move on down your list. You want it to think about it like a ping pong match. Like you hit it over in their court and give them time to respond, and they hit it back. I know sometimes I've done it. You ask a question and then they respond with like a sentence, and then you're like throwing up on them. And you're like, no, I want to pull it back. I wish I didn't do that. And then you're like, oh my gosh, let me send you this. Oh no, you can, you know, and then you're like, there you go. And it's just our human nature. But we have to practice patience, because like you said, it's got to be, you want it to still be about them. So if they come back, I'm going to talk to them about whatever products they want to. And then, you know, that question's coming, how much is it? I go straight for wholesale every single time, because I'm like, you're my friend. Here, have anybody order retail. Just, that's ridiculous. You shouldn't have retail customers. Number one, it's one and done. They're going to order and they're never coming back, just because they have commitment issues. So I'm going to go wholesale. Here's the deal. What's going on right now? Then if they're like, I don't know about that, then I'm going to compare okay, well, here's wholesale, here's triplex at wholesale, here's triplex at preferred customer. And then you got to leave it in their hands, like you said. But less is more, always, always, always. You're welcome. All right, anybody else?
Any last minute takers? Thank you, Ellen.
You're welcome.
A rock star. We love you. Really,
Thanks,
really appreciate it.
Well, sure. Anytime.
Awesome. And thank you to your kids too for being so patient.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
They're on their phones. They don't know.
Yeah.
They're waving. Hi. They're cute.
Well, cool. I hope that everybody is ready to go close like a boss.
All right, girl.
Sorry, my internet.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Love you guys.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, Ellen. Bye.